This is a visual I got when I was freaking out at night. I couldn't forgive things from my childhood, situations with mom, dad, things that I know intellectually, or I knew in that moment intellectually, not to be true, not to be something that actually happened. Known that it was just a situation that I chose for my soul's evolution, my progress, my ability to evolve in consciousness, etc. But I was like, why? If I have this knowledge, I can't seem to shift my perception of a situation. Why sometimes aspects of myself get fragmented, and then I'm able to see a situation or a person as a threat when actually there's nothing wrong with them. They're actually beautiful expressions of the Creator, and I can choose to have discernment into which to engage with the people, the person or not. So I was praying like, God, please show me, like crying, like please, I beg you, I want to forgive. And then I got this download. So it's basically this map, and sorry that the lighting kind of sucks, but whatever, I just really wanted to show you this. And this is basically you or me as a person, and this is what we are. So instantly I saw myself from the back of my head having this type like funnel, just like you see it there, and I was like, wow, like as if actually we're not the person, like there's nothing inside of us, but we're just a field, and how this field is expressed and how we see things and we talking is just energies that flow through us in form of language, because we process things from the Godhead and the Absolute, and we come closer and closer, and they become distorted from the lens of perception, from karma, which is belief in action from previous lifetimes or things that you pick up growing up, and then that's how we see people, situations, etc. So I got this visual, and this represents the Absolute. That's everything. That's like the void. That's beyond God. Beyond God, what is there? And then I feel like a blank space or a dark black hole. And that's where universes are created, and where octaves are formed if you follow the law of one. And then from the Absolute, then the Godhead is created, which is the unmanifested. So where does the universe originate from? There's just something that hasn't manifested yet from this absolute void, perfect peace, bliss, perfection, and then there's a Godhead. From that Godhead, then, which is a nothingness and it's completely empty, God manifests form. That's where the first universe becomes created. This feels like a line. If I could have like a line in between the Absolute and the first planets, creations, galaxies, that would be the Godhead, the unmanifested, kind of like nothingness or God or something standing there in a line. Like, okay, maybe we should do something. This is too blissful, too perfect. Like, let's create some chaos. Let's stir some shit up. So Godhead manifested. It was like, okay, whoop, let's jump here. I created God manifested form. All that is. Planets, galaxies, constellations, Arcturians, Lecturians, blah, blah, blah. All these star seeds and astral realms exist in that, as well as Earth, which is the third density planet. So how does the form manifest this? Through light. So all of this is inside of us, inside our consciousness, because we are the absolute perfection. We are the unmanifested. We are the God. But we're coming back to how we become distorted through our lenses. So this is light. Then it becomes the light of consciousness. That's everything in particles, everything that's made of light, that shines from, which is me speaking, a baby, an animal, a pet, a book, a marker. Everything is just forms of light. If you can stare at it for a period of time, actually, and that's something I learned in the Course in Miracles, you can see the little particles of light in the marker. And you're like, oh, this is so light. And light becomes condensed and more dense, and that's why we feel that our bodies are made of matter, but it's actually just God in forms of light, particles, frequency, and waves. And whenever there are no distortions, because the distortions come here in awareness, then we can be a complete reflection of God, the Godhead, the Absolute, and just light. So then after the light is just the witness. The witness is when we get into this state of meditation and we try to empty our thought forms and all the programs, the distortions, the limiting beliefs, the things that we pick up growing up come. And then we're like, no, not this, not that, not this. And we go back into the witness. Witness is that silent space in which we witness our thought forms and we don't identify with them. So usually when we begin meditating, we go through these stages, and the first stage that we end up going through is the witness. So after the witness, and this is the interesting part, comes awareness, which is the programs and the distortions. In the light of awareness, if there are no limiting beliefs, it's like if you were born and your parents or society, or you didn't come from a previous lifetime with baggage and which beliefs of unworthiness, of guilt, of shame, etc., or you were just abused sexually or emotionally, and then you picked up all those thought forms which become dense and crystallized, then they are stored here in awareness. And the problem is that we cannot see clearly, as the Course in Miracles says, when we are blinded by these programs. Because what enlightenment or self-realization or even self-actualization lies in is in channeling all this light that comes from the absolute Godhead, God manifest light, witness, all of it. If it's empty, that's why everybody's like, or these gurus or teachers or Buddha like, focus on emptiness, because when this is empty, then it's a clear channel for the light of the one infinite creator to shine through us in like that funnel through our heads, in our eyes, and everything we see it with the eyes of Christ consciousness, and we can have discernment. We know how much to give, when to retire, when to be balanced in love, when to be balanced in wisdom. But I was like, okay, all of this, then why sometimes I get triggered and I see a person and I snap out, and then a memory comes when I was abused, and then I think like that person is a threat, and that's really cool to explore too. Maybe you can see here. You can't see me, but you can see this. This is form. Let's see, this is the person that triggers you. This is you. You are the experiencer. This represents seeing. That's why I love X-Men, because I feel that, I don't know what's that X-Men that has that vision. You can mention it in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. That sees like rays of vision into something. And you are trying to see the person. And the first thing that happens is that you recognize the person. You register the person here, the first layer. You recognize. And then the way you see this person, situation, event, can be relationship, can be a system, can be relationships, finances, anything. You see it, form, which is the word of form, from the eyes of all of this that comes back into the absolute. But if you have in your awareness programs, distortions, limiting beliefs, or ideas that you're always betrayed, nobody loves you, you were raped, so you don't deserve to exist, anything, and you know all this intellectual, spiritual, blah, blah, blah knowledge, but you don't seem to understand how awareness is formed and why you can't see clearly that person, situation, or being, then it's because you haven't cleared this. And then this is where self-inquiry starts. This is when trauma healing starts. This is when meditation gets deeper. Because it doesn't matter how much knowledge or intellectual understanding, which is a phase, and I went through that, like we get. It's like, okay, we try to understand consciousness. But if we don't empty our mind from the distortions, from the programs, from the virus is just that little thing, infectious distortion, that is like the root belief, because we can have many beliefs, like I'm not good enough, money is hard to come by, I'm never going to be successful, my family ignored me, so probably I'm just not worth as fuck. All of those things. And that doesn't matter, because there's a core belief. The core belief is I'm unsafe, or I'm abandoned, or I'm neglected, or there's just a scarcity, there's no abundance, something like that. So if you have those beliefs here, how, and if you see it this way, how can the light of God, consciousness, absolute, everything go through the witness of your consciousness, and then you can see clearly every situation? If you don't have anything here, any bullshit, any baggage, then the way you see me, the way you see your partner, the way you see money, the way you see happiness, the way you see the world will be completely from the vision of Christ. That doesn't mean you're going to be a martyr and you're going to overly give to people, because I also went through that phase. It means that you will have discernment, and that's why I wrote discernment here. You can be a discerning person, completely balanced in love and wisdom, empty here, that channels the light from God consciousness and knows exactly how to approach every situation. And in that way, you become like a superhuman, kind of like the movie Limitless, Bradley Cooper, or I love to reference to Lucy, but that's a bit of action. Well, Limitless is also action, but you become a superhuman because you are empty. You're just a channel. You're so close to God that you know exactly how to be of perfect service to that person. Maybe enough service to that person is not to reply and just say something that is a direct reflection of what they're been saying, to snap the ego out of them and for them to become more pure. Who knows? But you become just so intelligent and so full of love, because love is what we are. What created God manifest form is love. All of it is love. So we can say like, oh, I want to receive love. I want to be self-love. No, that's impossible because you already are that. It's like, how are you going to learn to love yourself if you don't need to learn what you already are? It's just a remembering that we are love. We are the unmanifest. We are the absolute. We are the Godhead. And we chose to come here to have this game of contrast and hero's journey and separation to remember. So, stories aside, then after I got this vision, it was, and I have it here. So funny. This is the original. It was like all messed up. I tried to do my best. Probably I should just like give it to a writer, a picture person, to make like a little chart that's more efficient. Anyways, so then after I got that vision, I was like, I get it. And for like 2 days in a row, I was just in a state of pure bliss. Like I could see all the thoughts pass by, like, and then every time I was talking to someone, I saw a funnel in the back of my head, just like this, like super huge, like whoo. And I was like, holy fuck, like. And whenever a distortion came in, that it was gonna be a trigger or there is no wrong way to perceive someone, but a distorted way to perceive something or a situation, I could see those thought forms or viruses here pass through the funnel. And I was like, whoa, I cannot believe in this. I cannot believe in this. And they start dropping and they just leave me. And then I can just allow myself to channel the light that needs to come through me and morph, just like Mystique, into, just love doing references of X-Men, into whatever it is that's needed of me in the moment. So this feels complete. You have it here. You can take a screenshot if it's beneficial for any time you are in a situation where you get triggered or you're confused or you don't know why you can get out of your limiting beliefs, or the thought forms are so dense because so many years of believing in the same program that they're so crystallized. So it's a good reminder for you to snap out of it, snap out of the person. You are not the body, you are not the person. You are the field of consciousness in which the person moves around. So you have a person. So it's like, I'm not this. I am everything that's around it. And I use this person as a puppet to create this video. And how can I remember that? Sometimes looking at this and realizing that when we go all the way back to the manifest, to Godhead, to God manifest form, and we see things from this light and just imagining like a vast galaxy or universes, how can you believe in something as little as a program or a distortion that is stored here in this software of your operating system? You must inquiry on that distortion and be like, is this true? I love the Byron Katie approach. When I found her, it really, really served me. You can find her here on YouTube. She asked these 4 questions. Is this true? Can I absolutely know that this is true? And that second question, can I absolutely know that this is true, comes from the absolute, because absolutely, no, it's not true. Relatively can be true here. In whatever scene or situation you chose out of karma, which is believing action, for you to replay that scene in this lifetime so you could remember and free yourself, forgive yourself, and let go of unconscious guilt, shame. Like, who knows in how many lifetimes we have. I'm not saying that it really happened, but it could. Some of you killed someone, betrayed someone, stole a lot of money. And then you have to come here and replay the other area of the spectrum. If you were the hero in that lifetime or the villain, now you are the hero here, and vice versa. And you're just playing these characters because we're walking each other home and we're remembering and we're triggering each other, those unconscious programs and beliefs, so we can empty ourselves and become more of our true nature, which is God consciousness. And that's it for the enlightened rant of the day. If you like this and you would like to see more contents like this in the board or drawings, let me know in the comments. I'm offering one-on-one coaching sessions if you're having struggles, finding that belief that is limiting yourself to expand into more of your true nature, which means more abundance, better relationships, alignment, career, passion, fulfillment. So if you feel called to connect with me, you can do it via the links that are in the description. It says enter the portal or I'm ready, and I would be so stoked to connect with you. Much, much love, my friends.